Raindrops, Love and Marriage Huntsville is back, baby. So, of course, I am going to do a weekly recap on this podcast. And I could not have asked for a better first guest than my girl, producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville, baby. A singer, an entrepreneur, a model, a clothing designer, a skincare owner. Melody, what is it that you don't do, child? So, of course, I'm talking about the queen, honey, Melody Shari.
What's up? Hey, Carlos. What's up, Raindrops? Raindrops.
Yes. Hey, Raindrops, and hey, Millimeter. So,
hey, Millimeter. That's right.
Now, before we get started, now y'all need to look and listen. I am the president of the Millimeter, so y'all need to.
You done nominated and voted yourself in. Unanimously, one vote. Carlos, made him the president.
I'm the president of the Millimeter fan club, okay? So y'all can say what y'all want. I am the king of reality television and the king of the Millimeters. So there you have it. We love the Millimeters. But Melody, before we get started to tonight's episode, I have to ask you the very important question.
Okay.
Who is messier, the Millimeters or the Raindrops?
Messier? Oh, that's a good one. I would say gotta be the Raindrops because let me tell you, the Millimeters, yes, it's the Raindrops. The Millimeters are thinkers. Let me just say, they are critical thinkers. Okay. Like you ain't just gonna run nothing by them now. Your Raindrops, on the other hand, be over there writing all the messy comments. Okay.
No, Melody.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Melody, no, look, your Millimeters, who I love, by the way, they will write a whole dissertation on Melody Shari.
Dissertation. See, they educated. Go ahead.
Oh!
Go ahead. All of them educated. Buy out skincare every sale. They like to look good on the outside and inside. I already know about the Millimeters.
This is already starting off shady, and I could not have asked for a better introduction. Y'all thought tonight's episode was shady, but baby, in my Carlos voice, this is about to be even shadier. So, Melody, we are entering season 5 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. How does it feel to know that I've said it, you said it, we've all said it, but baby, now even OWN is saying it. Unless you've been living under a rock, OWN's promo for this show has been emblazoned on the commercials, the ads, as OWN's #1 show. Did you ever think in a million years that you would have the #1 show on Oprah Winfrey's network?
Didn't think about it, but not too far-fetched either. I think you and I both share the commonality that if we're going to do something, we're going to do it well, right? We're going to do it to the best. We know OWN is the best. We know that. You know what I mean? We know that. Okay, Oprah Winfrey, baby. So, the fact that we're here on this platform, on this network, and you've got people who work hard, who believe in the vision, believe in the show, and willing to give what needs to be given so it can be a #1 show. I'm here for it. I'm not really surprised. I'm not. Did I know it was going to happen? No. But am I super shocked? No. Like, I believe you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
And I know what I put in. So now for me to reap the harvest, right? After you've sown the seed, to reap the harvest of that, yeah, I'm expecting the harvest. Who plants seeds and think they ain't gonna get a harvest? You just wouldn't waste the time planting the seed. So God is good.
All the time, and all the time, God is good. Why do you think? Because look, there has been, and I don't think people understand the degree of the magnitude of what it means to be number one on this network. There are scripted shows. Let's talk about it. I don't think people understand that the number one show on Oprah Winfrey's network has superseded scripted shows. And it goes to show you the level of loyalty, entertainment, and love people have for this show. When you sit back, Melody, and reflect on the past 5 seasons, what do you think has contributed to the show being number one?
I would say definitely coming out the gate, and people seeing real things happening that were real, right? You could feel that it was real. You could see that it was real. 5 years later, people are like, oh, so that wasn't just for TV. Oh, that was real, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that for sure that drew the people in and made them want to see Love and Marriage Huntsville, because they either saw themselves in it, they saw family in it, you know, they saw friend situations in it. And of course, also having, you know, a production team who gets it too. All of it matters. We all play a part, right? And so I think it's beautiful. It's amazing. And I'm glad you pointed that out about, you know, being the number one show exceeding scripted. Like you said, that is huge. And I know you just did the 100th episode show as well. Thank you, by the way, because you said some amazing things. So I want you to know I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And listen, a lot of people don't know this because they choose not to, but you and I have a great relationship. We talk all the time. And when we talk, it's nothing but pleasantries and it's complimentary. And what I want people to know is you filled me up. Like there's moments where, you know, I was going through something recently and you checked in on me like, you good? You good? Because I see what the folks are saying, honey. You good? I'm like, I'm good. And I appreciated that. And obviously, you know, vice versa as well. So listen, I say it to you off camera, and you best to believe I'm going to say it on camera, honey. Because I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. You know that much. Yeah. So, no, but thank you for acknowledging that. And, you know, it was nice to watch the 100 special. And one more thing about that, then I'll get into tonight's episode. I wonder if you noticed this. I was watching it with my partner, the African, and my raindrops be killing me when they talk about my African. I was watching the 100th episode with him, and they showed the clip of you. I think it was like maybe towards the end of season 1B or season 2, where you were looking outside the window and you talked about how God favors you. And that when you're favored, not everybody can come with you, and that sometimes people may be blocking the blessings God has for you. And what's funny is I remember always telling you that that statement alone affected me, and that changed my life. So to watch a fan remember that moment, did you remember how we all used to talk about that moment when you said it?
After, like you said, seeing the fan, because she also I was tagged in it, and I ended up sharing it on my story when it aired. And seeing and hearing how it truly affected someone else, to me, that's what this platform has always been about. Being honest, authentic, transparent, and living my truth out loud, you know, and hoping that somebody pulls something from it. And the fact of the matter is, Carlos, who you are connected to does matter. If you're connected to someone and you see constant failure, you see things constantly not working out, you see constant chaos, constant drama, you need to reassess the situation, because whenever you're where you're supposed to be, there should be favor and there should be blessings, there should be abundance, right? And so that rang true then, and it rings true now.
Amen to that. You know, I love when Pastor Melody Shari comes through, honey. So we appreciate that. And that also goes into tonight's episode. So as we opened up the episode, we see you visit Kimmy, and the beauty of this scene is two things. Number one, you do talk about your piece and how you like to step back to make sure that you're mentally capable of pursuing other things. Let's just call it out. When the show wraps, you rap. you like, I need a break. So talk to me about that as we lead into your conversation with Kimmy. But when the show wraps, I don't think people understand it's a gruesome schedule and it's intense. And that sometimes you have to, just like we all take a break from work in our real jobs and real life and all this other stuff, you do the same thing when you're filming the show.
Absolutely. Like you said, the schedule is always tight. And then when you couple that with me having 4 children, multiple businesses, and then my own personal things that I have going on as well, it is a lot. It is a lot. Sometimes me showing up to things I can remember were struggles and I had to push through, right? Even though, if I can be honest, I can say that production has been very, very good about understanding when things are happening that are very personal and you're like in a space where I don't know if I can film today, right? Like, they have been super understanding when it comes to that. But I literally have learned to use my voice more, in the sense of, if I need to take a break, I'm okay with, I need to take a break. And people who know me, whether they have been around me or have been watching this show and they've seen the different reunions, they all know Melody takes a break after filming. Like, I have to go into my own space and mentally, right, balance myself back out. Emotionally, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of emotions, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of tough conversations that happen, a lot of different people's energies and moods that are coming for different things. It can be a lot. So you do have to, for the health of you, for the health of your mental state, do what you have to do for you. And in that moment, doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Nobody's feelings matter in that moment. In that moment, you have to take care of you. And I think we're so we're kind of taught and trained to care more at times about other people than we do ourselves. Take care of other people before we take care of ourselves. And I'm literally changing that.
Yeah. And it's funny because you even, and I want people to know this, it's funny because you even take a break from production. So let me tell you, let's talk about it. So Melody, listen, me and Mel are close. I love my cast. We're all close. Melody will literally be like, production, I'm off. I'm on hiatus until further notice. It's no shade. I just need a break from y'all too. I need to get back to that. And that's why, let's just go right into it. We'll go back to the Kimmy stuff. That seemed to have been Stormi's issue when it came to the two of y'all that we saw tonight. She expressed that y'all used to talk often, and then it became, in her words, it became not talking at all. And she felt that there was some weirdness to it. And she even said at the reunion that y'all never had an issue. She did say that. She said, me and Mel never had an issue. Obviously, we're getting to know each other. These are deeper friendships she's had for over 6 years. We don't have that. But after the reunion, she said that y'all haven't spoken, and that even after the reunion, y'all didn't speak. Are there some things that you want to clarify as you saw that conversation take place, in terms of what was going on with you and Storm? Because we're all surprised that there was even this issue, if we want to call it that, of miscommunication.
Okay, absolutely. So when you think about, first of all, I want to say we did speak at the reunion. But when you think about, I was like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. Hey, hugged and everything. But what I will say is, when you think about what you said in the terms of Stormi saying our friendship, isn't like, it's not like these, it's not that deep. We're getting to know each other, or we're building, right? It kind of contradicts when you don't hear from someone for, I think the reunion was in October. I think we wrapped in maybe August. So it hadn't been that long, right? And you already was feeling like, what's going on? That would be something that would kind of make me feel some kind of way if it was someone I had a super deep friendship with and maybe something's off. But at the time, for me in my space, I didn't have an issue with Stormi. You know, Stormi hadn't done anything to me. I hadn't done anything to her at all. You know, I welcomed her into this platform with open arms, wanted to see her do very well. I had many private conversations with her, you know, in terms of game planning it out in the sense of, hey, show your business, focus on positivity, show your beautiful family. Like, girl, you know, I even said on the reunion stage, I feel like they represent what Love and Marriage Huntsville is.
Yeah, you pitched Stormi to me and Angela, who's a VP of my company.
Yeah, I sure did. And I don't think people know that.
Oh, is that an exclusive? Oh, so let me
know that, or the fact that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all had interviewed her prior to me ever pitching her.
Yes. So this is what happened. We have a show called Bell Collective that is based in Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Stormi is from Mississippi. And when we were filming Bell Collective season 1, Stormi name came up because I think at that time she was living in Mississippi. So she was on our radar. And I think Angela may have reached out. So Stormi was on our radar in terms of somebody who we saw for Bell Collective until we found out that, oh, you don't live in Jackson, Mississippi. You live on the outskirts, like maybe 2 hours away from Jackson. So we were like, I don't know if that's gonna work, sis. Like, we shoot in Jackson. So she was on our radar. Number one. Number two, before we started filming, I think it was season 3, you contacted us and said, I have this friend named Stormi who I think would be great for the show. And me and Angela was like, wait, Stormi still? Camus Girl Beauty, whatever? Yeah. And you were like, yeah. I said, oh my gosh, we know her. You said, well, look, I think she's going to move to Huntsville. I think you guys should meet with her. And I was like, wait, she's going to move to Huntsville? Because we thought she was in Mississippi. You was like, no, I think she's going to move to Huntsville. She hasn't moved yet, but I think she will. But y'all, of course, do the conversations. And that's how we were able to talk to her about Love and Marriage Huntsville, because you initiated the conversation to let us know that she was going to move to Huntsville.
Yeah, well, no, she was in Huntsville
she was in Huntsville at that time. Okay.
So by the time I talked to you guys, I was like, hey, y'all need to meet her, like, you know, and she will be good for the show. So, and you know, Carlos, sometimes it comes to bite me in the butt, but I'm always that person, literally, even from Kiki, and you know this, I'm always that person who literally, when a person shares with me something they want to do, or a vision, or where they want to go, I try to figure out, how can I help you get there? Okay, so what for you? You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I am. That's how you could tell me right now that there was something you wanted to do. If I know a connect, or possibly I'm gonna say, oh, let me connect y'all. Here's his number. Here, you know, do y'all thing. And that's just that's how I move. That's how I move.
Do you feel that you don't get not that you're asking for it, right?
Yeah.
But do you feel that you don't get the credit for providing opportunities for people, because you said sometimes it does bite you in the butt?
It gets overshadowed, for sure. I think people look past that and forget. Like, wait a minute, no, but Mel was the one who really kind of like made this happen for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people forget that. So even, you know, since we're having this exclusive conversation, because this is exclusive information, okay? We can go all the way back to Destiny, right? Let's just be honest. you know, Destiny, Destiny and LeBaric, you know, Destiny and her ex-husband had interviewed or what is it called?
I'll tell you. Do you want me to tell you?
Not tried out, but like
No, I'll tell you.
To be casted for Love and Marriage Huntsville.
You know how you and Martell pay for a consultation?
Yeah.
To meet with me? Destiny and LeBaric did the same thing.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
They did it. What was funny, not to cut you off, but I want to be able to help with the chronologicalness of the story. Yeah. The show was maybe we were starting filming second season. Angela, you introduced Destiny to Angela, my producer. Angela and Destiny had dinner. And Angela called me after dinner and said, "Oh, I like this Destiny person." I want to say maybe a month after that, you know, I get all these consultations. And one consultation was Destiny and LeBaric. And I said, "I know y'all." I said, "No, I've heard of you through Melody and Angela." And I said, "You don't have to do this. Like, we know who you are. Let's figure it out." So go ahead.
Okay. So, because I didn't know that. But I knew that you know, my ex and I had made that introduction. Yeah. And what I do remember is it was I don't know. They gonna, I'm like, no, interview him again. Like, she has personality like me. She's over the top, like y'all gonna like her.
You said that. That's true.
So, you know, I find myself going to bat for people when I know they want to be a part of something, is my point. And I think sometimes that part gets overshadowed, whether it's because they don't know it or they choose to forget it, whatever the case may be. But, you know, I feel like Love and Marriage Huntsville being a hit show has been a blessing to me, for me. And I try to find ways to make it be a blessing to others that I'm connected to.
It's funny because this will be a good conversation, because you and I never even had this conversation, and I feel like I'm talking to my girlfriend versus, you know, the star I love, Matt Huntsville. Okay. When you presented people to us, I will say this: you've always had the best intentions of this is what's best for the show, right? Like, hey, me and this person. I remember when you introduced us to the Scots 1.0 and 2.0. And, you know, you were even like, look, this is what's best for the show to me, just based on what you're saying that you want. These are the people, me and her, because at the time you said me and
Kimmy. Me and Kimmy.
Remember, you said me and Kimmy. Yeah, you said me and Kimmy aren't the closest. There's something there, but I think it's good TV. Like, we're able to talk about it. You always, and I'm not saying this just to start mess. I want to have a truthful conversation. Yeah. I will always go on record saying you always did what you felt was best for the show. And I do think oftentimes people have seen it as, oh, Melody is casting folks to come for other folks. And what I will say with that, me being very honest, when Melody would pitch us people, because that's why you're the producer on the show, because you have a producer eye. You always looked at the bigger picture. Like, I think this was best for the show. Going back to Destiny and LeBaric even. So with the Kimmy thing, that was always funny, because you were like, we ain't the closest. There's something there. But I think if y'all are able to uncover it, it could be some good TV. Like, it could be good to watch. Even with Destiny and LeBaric, we knew that, okay, the playing field is uneven, because at that time it was 3 couples.
Yeah.
2 of the couples are related, right? Courtesy of Maurice and Marcel being brothers. So we always knew to even the playing field, we need Mel and Martell to have a friend, you know, who they get along with. And what y'all don't know is we tried out a lot of people from Sadaric and his wife. We tried out so many people, but I don't think people understand. It's not everybody's meant to be on TV. And with Destiny and LeBear, you were like, no, look at it, look at it. And when they came to, I think it was Kimmy's game.
A magazine
Oh, go ahead.
reveal. That's what it was. Remember?
Oh, yes.
That magazine thing in Birmingham.
Yes. That's when Angela met. You're right. So you always advocated for that. Do you think that's why people think like Melody cast people to come for folks?
You're probably right. It's probably why people think that is because, again, I am, you know, let's be honest, people know I'm part of this show. So they open up and share with me, hey, I want to be a part of the show. You think I will be affected? They open it up. And I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And then it turns out to be where you're like, this might work. So it's not like hey, let me go out here and find who can come on this show and comfort people. It's literally people like who have expressed to me that they want to be on TV or they want to be a part of this show. Not the other way around. I'm not out here asking for resumes. I'm not out here asking for resumes and asking people to submit applications. I'm not out here searching. I'm not. Why? Why are you laughing? I'm not. There's not an open interview there with Melody Shari. There's not. People have sought me out, and I think that gets lost in the sauce.
Oh, do you think some people have befriended you to get on the show?
Yes, I do. And out of my own, I would say at times, lack of discernment, and me literally, like I have a girlfriend, we've been friends for like 14 years. She tells me all the time that I see people with an open mind, open heart in the way I love and the way I befriend people. Whereas she says, I look at people, I'm like, you're going to have to prove some things for me to trust what you're saying. We're totally opposite. So I think at times I've allowed people in my faith, right? And allowed people in my life and thought it was genuine or sincere or pure. And my discernment wasn't where it needed to be, which is why I did take some time to spend with myself over the past few years and just learn me and grow spiritually so that I can do that and be a little more cautious. I'm still learning, but I'm a whole lot better, a whole lot stronger. I see a whole lot more clear now. Yeah.
Do you miss your friendship with Destiny?
You know, what's so interesting is I don't think about it that often. I don't think about it that much. And whether that's because I have life going on and I'm doing so many different things, I don't pause to think about that friendship often. Did we have some amazing fun times? Yeah, of course we did. But I think people, again, getting back lost in the sauce, it wasn't a situation where we've been friends for 5-10 years. I met her for the first time in 2018. And she wasn't living in Huntsville at the time. So we weren't hanging out a lot. She didn't move to Huntsville until she married, LeBear. And then we started spending more time together. So, it's not a friendship for me to necessarily mourn because it hadn't gotten all those roots, right? That my friend, for example, since college that we had. And, my friend since elementary school that I have. That's totally different.
And I would even go as far as to say, and I don't want to spoil the rest of the season, but what I love about this season is it's different. It's different because I think everybody, let me not say the word healed, meaning is 100%, right? I think everybody's on this healing journey with each other this season. And that's why this is no cap, as a young kid say, I love this season because you're going to see this journey of healing. And I'm bringing this up to say, you and Tisha obviously had a friendship before the show. And I don't want to spoil too much, but what the fans are going to see this season is a very interesting conversation between you and her. And without giving too much away, it showed me that these two people, Melody and Tisha, have boom, boom, boom. And I'll be like ping pong. And I said this to you because we're friends. I said, baby, a Libra Scorpio, I can watch all day long because it gives me my life. I love a Libra Scorpio mashup. But as tough as it's been for you and Tisha, I will say this. You even allowed yourself to re-enter into a space,
right,
and say, let's start over again and see where this can go. Again, I give too much away. And I'm going to be very honest here. And I didn't say this to you either. I was shocked at how receptive you were. Shocked. I was shocked because again, it's been so much great history and bad history and then great and bad that I just didn't know. But to see how you were able to receive.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what sort of work did you have to do within yourself to say, let me be open to this?
Absolutely. So, I say all the time, your healing journey, first of all, everybody's healing journey is different, but your healing journey is not for the other person. It's about you, right? And so I literally made up in my mind, like, hey, we're going into 2023, right? At this point, I literally have learned how to somewhat compartmentalize situations where, guess what? I can be in a room with you and speak and hope you're doing well and keep it moving, right? But at one point, I felt like if I'm allowing you in my space like that, we got to be friends. And I had to learn that that's not necessarily the case. You don't have to be that, but you can still be cordial and you can still speak and you can still, I wish you well and I hope all is going well, still want to see you do your thing. And so that's kind of, when Tisha and I had the conversation, that's kind of where I was with it. I'm like, you know what? Going into a new year, 2023, got a long way to go through this year. What do you, Melody, want this year to look like for you? And for me, it was all about, and is all about peace. It's all about peace. Like, and whatever that looks like, again, that doesn't mean that you have to, for those of y'all, tuning in, it doesn't mean that you literally have to allow someone full access to you, right? But you should be able to be in a place where it's never too far-fetched to speak or to have a conversation, right? And so that's what it is for me. And, and it's work, baby. We're not gonna act like you didn't fly to Huntsville. We're not about to act like you did not fly into Huntsville. You and the VP, Angela. We're not about to act like you ain't flying to Huntsville. We're like, listen, y'all, now come on now. We need y'all we can do better than this. Let's get it together, And so I think in that meeting, because we hadn't seen you in a while in Huntsville, I think you sat down and you was like, what do you think needs to happen to get that light back that we once used to have? When Melody entered the room, that light was there. And I said to you, in all honesty, I said, well, Carlos, it's kind of tough when I've had 10 months of people constantly attacking me. Like, why would I feel like I want to come in a space of light, right? But you know what? I'm going to give it another shot. And I just stuck to what I said. Like, I believe, say what you mean and mean what you say. And that's kind of where I've been.
No, and it goes to show you how you really do care about this show. And I think a lot of people, I will say this based on what I see on social media. And listen, social media, has its ups and downs, but I don't think you get enough credit in terms of how dedicated you are to make sure the show is great. And you are right. I knew after that reunion, I was like, something has to change. And I went down to Huntsville with Angela and we had a meeting, in the words of Kimmy, with the core six. Baby, when I said you...
That's Kimmy, the core six. She gonna let you know.
Melody, she go, Hey, Kimberly. Kimberly gonna let you know. Hey, Kimberly, who do you want to talk to about your journey? The core six. You don't want to, the core six. Okay, Kim, whatever you say, child.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had a meeting with the core six because at the end of the day, I care about this show. I always say to people, it's a privilege to be in this space, to be number one. And you don't want to take that for granted. And I knew that we couldn't continue on in the way we left off at the reunion. But I also want people to understand this. I've been producing reality TV for over 15 years. I've had these conversations with other cast members, and unfortunately, they did not listen. And we see how some of these shows aren't what they used to be. I'll just say that. So thank you for that acknowledgement. But I will always give it back to y'all because y'all could have easily said, I'm good, whatever. The fact that y'all were like, we understand and let's do it, just goes to show the love that you guys have for this show. And as we see the rest of the season, y'all are going to be surprised because we see Melody in the same room with the core six. And it's, again, not to spoil anything, but I really do love this season because it's so different. It's so unique. Although people are saying this, and let's just talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I've been messaged, Carlos, you replaced Destiny with Stormi, and you replaced Wanda with Miss Betty, and they both trying to come for Melody. Now look, I know y'all think that I'm this wizard who can be a puppeteer. We don't even go in thinking that, but that's what y'all are saying, and that's not even the case. What we saw tonight and what we saw in the trailer is Miss Betty, who's the mother, Stormi, has an issue. Did you think that here I go again, having to address something with someone else's mother?
Yeah, so, first I want to address kind of what you said. I'm sure that even when you put your producer hat on, take it off, you could see why and where the people would feel like that, right?
Yeah, no, of course.
So I'm not gonna say that based on what they've seen, which they haven't seen a lot yet, but based on what they've seen, it looks that way, right?
Right.
Okay, because you do have another mother, and it's coming from Melody, right? You do have now another friend having an issue with Melody communicating regularly. And so I get it. I would say the same thing if I was watching the show. I would be like, dang. So now another, dang, right? When
especially to your point when you haven't seen the whole season. So I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, with Stormi's mom, to be honest, I don't know her enough. I don't even know her enough to speak on who she is, what she is. I've maybe been around her 3 or 4 times in my whole life. So, and those times were literally mostly speaking moments. Hey, how you doing? So I don't know her. She's not in my age range. So she's not someone necessarily that I would hang out with, if I could be honest. I don't know. I don't.
I'm trying to hold it in. I couldn't. Go ahead.
So for her to have such strong opinions about me, which I later find out, and we're not going to spoil too much, but later found out came even before she ever met me. That's weird to me. And I pray that I never am in a position to where I'm ever bashing or having such strong negative opinions about people my children's age and taking it to social media, and I've never met them. So I think there's room to grow. I think there's room to do better, period. Because this is the second go around of, people who are old enough to be my mother having such strong opinion and don't even know me really. They've only been around me a handful of times. But yeah, I pray I'm never in a position where I have such strong opinions about people my kids' ages. Then bust out laughing. about what I was saying, Carlos King. Shoot.
I know you are, but look, I'm a Libra, you're a Scorpio, so you already know what we're about to get. So blame it on me, child. Look, y'all, blame me. I have a funny bone. I think the thing about Melody that makes me scream is your delivery to me is unmatched. I'll just say that. You have a great delivery.
And people think that I've been media trained. I've never been media trained a day in my life. I just speak my truth. And I know how to speak it in a way that's still somewhat professional, that's still respectful, but you heard what I said.
A little shady at times, no?
Yeah, a little shady at times. Shady moments too at times. But yeah, I don't know her well enough really for real to really even speak on her or who she is.
No, I definitely understand that. Again, you guys will see more. Melody throws a high tea event, and it is, I'd even say this to you, the network was like, we have been waiting for this high tea, and it did not disappoint. They love it. I loved it. Melody.
Beautiful.
It was, the reason, let's just talk about it. I strongly believe the reason why Love and Marriage Huntsville is you do realize this show is a pop culture phenomenon. It's huge. I'm not even like a cast member, although y'all want to say I'm the 7th cast member on the show, but Melody, straight men, white women, the folks at the TSA at the airport.
Yeah.
Let's talk. True tea, I will be sitting on the plane, minding my business. If a person recognizes me who sits next to me, they will spend the 1 hour and 24-minute flight talking about this show. And I'd be like, look, honey, first of all, I want to take a nap. And number 2, I live and breathe and eat this show. So when I'm having a break, I don't want to talk about a child, but I love y'all fans. But anyways, I say that to say it's y'all. Y'all are the reason why the show's a hit. And it's the Huntsville, it's the magic of Huntsville in Alabama. So when the high tea happened, it reminded me of just Southern and Alabama and Huntsville and the beauty of y'all, the Southern bellness of it all. You wore this Tiffany blue, look like it was everyone looked gorgeous. The scene is fantastic. It's an amazing scene. It's funny. And let me tell y'all, millimeters, something. Don't y'all worry about Melody. Melody knows how to take care of herself.
I do.
Like, y'all, Melody don't call me like, y'all got this. Melody never runs from a scene. She sits there and she's like, what's your problem? Let's talk about it. And they can say the crazy things. Melody would be like this. Okay, well, let me talk now. And she'll defend herself and the conversation will be done.
Yeah.
So
that's me.
That's you. So no, I can't wait for them to see that. What they also saw tonight, Mel, is your ex desiring to walk you to your car, be around you, all this other stuff. When those things happen, where you feel like, okay, here I am, I'm hosting Kimmy's event. You and Kimmy have a great relationship. I'm always surprised when people say you fall out with people because you and Kimmy never had a falling out, and y'all been on the show together since day one. But let's talk about that first. How do you feel when people say Melody can't keep a friend? She falls out with everybody, child.
That is the running narrative, right? Watching the show and being a spectator of just the show, I can see how they could feel that way because of the fact what we talked about earlier. People seek me out. I find a way to get them on this platform, right? And then it becomes like when I pull back, there's an issue or whatever, right? Or you're talking about my mess, like season 1, I think Tisha and Martha was like, word around the curve, he got da-da-da-da. But then when I talk about your mess or Martell talk about your mess, it's a problem, right? So you've seen those falling out. So watching it, spectator of the show, I can see how people could, come to that conclusion. But the fact of the matter is, I have a life outside of the show. I have friends that they've never seen on the show. And that's just real life. But you can't blame them because they're just watching the show. So
yes. No, that is very true. That is very true. And that's what they have to go by. So going back to your ex, was it uncomfortable for you knowing that, look, we're co-parenting and we're doing the best we can do under these unique circumstances? And the unique circumstance is we got cameras around us every single day and we're famous. We're famous. Like Mel and Martell, famous. When you're in those moments where he's doing those things, does it make you uncomfortable because you don't want to send mixed signals?
Absolutely, it does. Sometimes, like, if you give people an inch, they take a mile, right? We've heard that forever. And I feel like I'm dealing with my children's father, who is missing reality TV and reality. You know what I'm saying? And so I find myself trying to walk a line that's as narrow as possible to not confuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, just because we are here in this theme together and I can speak to you, hey, how are you doing? And keep it moving doesn't mean, oh, shoot, she spoke to me in this theme today. I got a chance. You know what I'm saying? It makes it tough, if I can be honest. It makes it tough to be real with you, dealing with just the imbalance of it all. And you guys see, as you saw tonight, this whole thing of him wanting to walk me to my car, and he has a conversation with Kimmy, right? Like, yeah, I'm gonna listen. I should have listened, But then you're also doing other things that are constantly trying to break me and tear me down behind the scenes. That's that inability to separate reality TV and reality. But I see it all. So when people who don't see it all, don't hear it all, don't know it all, whenever they try to say, well, Melody, you should be nicer, or you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't have boundaries that are like this, you don't know. So leave me alone, because I do know. To be real with you, that has been one of the things, Carlos, at times that have made me feel like I want to walk away.
Really? From the show?
Yeah.
You never said that to me.
I thought we were doing an exclusive interview. That's what you said.
It don't get more exclusive than this. Okay.
Yeah. Because it can become a lot. And the fact of the matter is, I do have 4 children with this person. And I'm having time when I'm showing up to work for Kingdom Reign and the Oprah Winfrey Network, and they're constantly doing things for show and for TV, but it's real life. And it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want the world to know, I know it's been tough for you because you and I do talk. And we have some great conversations about that. And that's why, to your point, we make sure that you are in a position to where no one's telling you what to do or where to be if you don't want to be there. Because at the end of the day, and I don't think people understand this the way that I do because of what I've done in terms of my career. You guys are the first divorced couple to continue to have the same space on the show. Whereas on other shows, once you're divorced, bye, and then you can move on. Obviously, in real life, you still co-parent, but if you have kids together, but you guys are the first couple in the history of reality television to have to coexist in the same space on the show where you started off being married, and how it can be difficult because, like you said, because I'm doing, listen, I'm living my reality. Yes, I'll throw you an event, Kimmy. All right, I know we're filming a show, so Martell, okay, whatever, we get that. But then it's like, don't take advantage of us being in this space to where, before these cameras were here, you and I just don't have that rapport at this moment. Yeah. And when people think you are giving him a hard time, I do agree with you that people don't know. And even I sometimes call you like, are you okay? Are you good? Or whatever. Because when you're co-parenting with somebody, every day there's something different. Yeah. And I think people get lost in what you said. And it's funny because you would think I would be able to articulate it, but you did it so wonderfully. People are only seeing what they see on the show. So when people say, you can't keep a friend. You so mean, be nice. Stop being this. Y'all are not seeing the full scope of what was happening prior to us even filming, or even after we film, that we still have to deal with. So yeah. I never thought about it that way. And Melody, and I'm gonna say this exclusively.
What?
Melody, you will be staying alone.
I know you were about to say that. You ain't going nowhere, girl.
We're gonna fix some things out. But anyways. But
something to what you said. You guys have been very respectful. Like you said, if I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be in this certain space, y'all don't be like, oh, you better show up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have not done that, and you've never done that. If people paid attention, even the finale last season, I wasn't there. I wasn't at the season finale, and production didn't like, oh, I know you didn't not show up. Now Angela did pull up out here to my she said, Melody Shari, I just had to see for myself. She said, you ain't coming to your season finale. And I said, Angela, girl, I got a massage. I feel you. But I got in the car and we talked for a while, and she asked me a few more times, but she didn't try to pressure me. She wasn't on some like, go put something on and come now. It was, y'all have never been like that. And that's why I tell people all the time, you show up to where you want to show up to, and you don't show up to where you don't want to show up to. Y'all don't make anybody go any certain place, say certain things. Y'all don't make us do anything. You don't.
No. And thank you for sharing that. And you are right. Listen, do we sometimes say, okay, girl, can you show up? Or like, come on, be there. But it's never forced upon you. It's your life. You have a right to say no to it. And you're right in the sense of, the thing about you that I love is, your boundaries. And like I said, even let's talk about like coexisting with the core six. You're like, okay, it's an initiative. I can show up to that. Like, I'll show up to that. It's fine. The girls are having a spa night. I'll show up. Was I invited? Okay, I'll show up. And I can invite them to my high tea. Like, and I want people to know that we're all just trying to do our best under these very unique circumstances. But at the end of the day, I always want you to feel protected. And that will always be the goal with all of my cast members, is to never allow yourself to be, it's kind of what our mamas would say, never feel uncomfortable in your own house.
Right.
And this show is your house.
Right.
And I never want you or anybody to feel uncomfortable in their house. And I appreciate you acknowledging that. Before I let you go.
Okay.
The most asked question I got.
What?
Even from the millimeters.
I want to know. Do I have a man? And is he gonna be on the show? Is that what that was that the question?
Yes.
I'm intuitive now. Now you know now. You know that. So honestly, I've been divorced for 2 years, left 3 years ago. So I've had times where I've been dating, and I've had times where I'm like, I don't want to date anybody. I want to focus on me, focus on my self-care, my healing journey. I've traveled, to other countries by myself, just loving on me and enjoying myself. Beautiful, beautiful moment. Am I dating someone right now? I am. Do people know who it is? No. No. And to be honest, I've been enjoying it being that way. I feel like some people get it, some people don't, but whenever you are in the spotlight and things are out there, it opens Pandora's box, right? And so I have been open out the gate. You guys have literally seen me married, separate, get back together, then divorce, right? I've had a baby on this show. So my most intimate moments I've revealed and I've been open about. And after years of that, because it's been years of up and down, up and down, up and down, tears, smiles, right? I'm enjoying finally having something that's just to me, like that just belongs to me. I share myself with the world. And I've had my children on here and entertained, and I'm enjoying having something just for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're happy that you're happy. And look, I think the other thing that I will say is, unfortunately, when you are a celebrity and you are on a reality show, sometimes men want to date you to get on the show. And what I appreciate about what you're doing is you are living your life to make sure that you, with your discernment, that you're good and that you know this is genuine. And I appreciate your boundary within that. And I said this on my podcast with Dustin Ross, and I'll say it again. Because they're like, well, Carlos, Melody's single. The show is called Love and Marriage. And I said, let me tell y'all something. Melody could be single for the rest of her damn life. Melody is Love and Marriage. And I don't care if she has a man, a cat. One thing I know about Melody, and I said this throughout this entire conversation, she has discernment. When the time is right, she'll know what to do to make herself feel comfortable. And that's why we don't pressure her even with that. It's one of those things where no one understands that you went through a very tumultuous situation on this show. And in order for me to see you healed, I will want to make sure that you are in a position to where you are 100% comfortable. And I'm not ever going to pressure you for that. And you have my word because I said it publicly. And child is going to run on every blog after today. So I'm saying it publicly. When the time is right, I know you'll say, hey, King. So we'll wait to see for that. So as long as you happy, Gunny, I think
and
we all
it's a
can
real
say
relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the other thing too. It'll be a real relationship. I'm not in any shape, form, or fashion interested in just doing something. Just doing something for TV or doing something because I wanna be trending. No, like I came into this thing authentic, true to myself, and I'm gonna continue to be true to myself, even whatever that next love chapter of my life looks like. It's all gonna be genuine and real. What is
I'm not play these games with you. Listen, my brain drops and your melody doesn't know what time it is. And all I'm gonna say is, okay.
Gotta be real, I promise. So whenever I do step out fully with someone, you know what I'm saying? No one has seen me claim or be with anybody since the divorce. When I do step out, they gonna know, oh, this is serious. Yeah.
So Melody, I love this woman so much. She is okay. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let the world know what they can expect from the rest of this season on Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Well, oh my gosh. So I think I said something like roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster. um, listen, I literally witnessed adult women trying to figure things out in their friendships, in their family ships, and have conversations about things that happened, even though it might have been 2 years ago, my Christmas party 2021. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. Still talking about it. Damn, I can go to a Christmas party every year because my Christmas party gonna be talked about even 2 years later. Shoot. Anyway, let me get that serious.
And your Taco Tuesday, but who's counting?
That part. And it's just a continuation, I feel, of seeing people work hard to grow in business, grow in friendships. In my situation, for me personally, I'm dealing with something behind closed doors, as you know, that I don't talk about too much because it is very personal and it involves my baby. So I don't talk about it too much, but dealing with that, but still getting up every day, working, grinding, building this empire, and making sure that, my children who are silent partners in their businesses know, what it means to have good work ethic. I mean, to be honest, y'all done seen my kids on live packing boxes with me and products with me. Like, they have more work ethic than some of the adults I know, to be honest. But work ethic, building that legacy despite the challenges that are happening. And I think that's the story for women across the world, right? We go through so much, we carry so much, we wear so many hats, but what does it look like to persevere, to be resilient, to be strong, and to thrive, to live? And I'm showing that.
And you are. No, you are. I'm so proud of you. I really, really, really am. From the first moment I met you at that hotel lobby and we spoke, I knew you were a star. I've said it publicly. You have not disappointed me ever. To see that you have not taken for granted this opportunity. And I have seen people, unfortunately, who I love in this business get an ego to where they didn't persevere their moments in this space because it is God design. And I do believe the Lord giveth and taketh away when you don't give him the glory. And you are the pure example of a woman who gives God the glory. You don't take for granted this show, because if you did, I promise you, you would be like, Carlos, I heard you, but I'm not doing it. I'm good. I'm gonna do what I want to do. F this, I'm fine. I want my own spin off. I want, you've always been like, Carlos, what do you want this season to be? Like, you asked me this season, you called me and said, now, Carlos, I don't call you often, child. Now, look, honey, what we doing this season, honey? What do you want? And you said, okay, I got you. So I just want to say I thank you for that. You are the beauty of you. You're just getting started. And I think that's what's scary, is to know that you're just getting started and you have yet to receive, because you're going to be here for a long time. So you have yet to even receive the full manifestation of God's blessing for your life. And as long as you stay humble and you always have good intentions, your blessing is going to be so insurmountable that it's going to scare you. And just know that that's what's coming on your doorstep.
I appreciate that. And you know what? I'm wishing that same thing for you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Now let the world know they can buy your skincare, your clothes. You dropped a new line with Jay Bolin. Go ahead, sis.
Listen, okay, isn't Jay Bolin fabulous?
We love you, Jay Bolin.
Listen, he is amazing. But yes, you can find my skincare. I have a masterclass. I've created over 650 entrepreneurs in the past 3 years. June will be 3 years that I started my master class.
Wait, hold on. Over 600?
650 all across this nation, from one end to the other, from up north to south, east to west. Yes, yes, yes. And
Dang, Melody, you got so much money, girl.
God is good. God is good. God is good. But you know, I have my masterclass, my skincare. So y'all follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Melody S. Holt, so you can stay in the loop of what's going on. I did just drop a new collection with Jay Bolin. So yeah, head on over to Instagram and Facebook and go ahead and get all the honey, because there's a lot. Skincare, God Said Go merchandise, masterclasses, Jay Bolin collaboration. I'm a recording artist, so I have songs that are on iTunes and Apple Music, videos on YouTube. So yeah, y'all go ahead and enjoy the Melody experience, okay? That's what we're gonna call the Melody experience.
Yes, yes. And we know Beyonce watches the show. So Beyonce experience, we have that. We are here for the Melody experience. Mel, I love you. I thank you so much. Every Saturday, 8 o'clock, 7 Central, Love and Marriage Huntsville, all new episodes for a very roller coaster season full of surprises. Love you, Mel.
Love you. Bye, raindrops and millimeters.
Bye, millimeters. Be nice to me, y'all.